Hi everyone and welcome. In this video, we're going to introduce you to the new Unit and Certificate Registry. It's a secure, user-friendly system designed to support Australia's growing carbon and environmental markets. It plays a key role in helping Australia meet our emissions reduction targets. We've developed a modern, centralised platform where you can hold and transfer ACCUs, SMCs, and in future, other units and certificates that we administer here at the Clean Energy Regulator. I'll show you how to access the registry, look at some of the key features, and demonstrate some transactions so you can confidently use it to manage your account holdings. The first step is logging in. To access the Unit and Certificate Registry, head to cer.gov.au, click on Online Systems, then Online Services, come down to Login or Sign Up. Log in using your existing credentials from the ANRU, or sign up if you're new. For this walkthrough, I'll be using a test account to show you around and demonstrate a few scenarios from the perspective of someone managing multiple accounts. Let's imagine we're Emma Dodds acting on behalf of ACME Group. So we'll log in with that. Once you're in, you can continue as yourself or switch accounts to act on behalf of someone else or an organisation. So I'm going to act on behalf of ACME Group. So I switch account, select ACME Group, and I can check it up here. Acting on behalf of ACME Group, logged in as Emma. When you first log in, you'll be at the dashboard. Here you can manage your forms, check on your submission statuses, access other systems such as the Registry. You also access the Unit and Certificate Registry here. When we access the registry, we first see a summary of all holding accounts you have access to. What you see will depend on who you're acting on behalf of. So in this example, Emma Dodds is acting on behalf of ACME Group, and Emma can see 2 holding accounts. Access is via permission, either an initiator permission or an approver permission. We can see the ACME Group trading account with this account number, and it holds SMCs and ACCUs. We can also see a second account, ACME Transport Brisbane, with this account number, and it holds SMCs. Now that you've logged into the Unit and Certificate Registry, let's look at your account holdings. This is where you will find all the ACCUs and SMCs you're authorised to manage. When you log in, you'll see a list of accounts you have permission to access. Let's select one to see its holdings. We've selected the ACME Group trading account. Here you'll see everything held in this account under a tab for ACCUs and SMCs if you hold them. On the left are options available to you, including transactions you can do based on the unit types in this account and whether you have any safeguards, surrenders or carbon abatement contracts. Looking at the ACCUs, you can see a large range of attributes for each block of ACCUs in the account, including project ID, project name, methods, vintage, location, and the quantity. You can scroll across to see all the information. The total available and unavailable are shown here. You can filter and sort by any attribute. Let's find all the units from method type carbon capture and vintage 2324. If you want to download all the holdings into a CSV file, just hit the button here to export. So that's your holding accounts in the unit registry. Easy to navigate, packed with all the details to help you manage your units. Next up, let's walk through how to transfer units between accounts in the new unit registry. In this example, I'm logged in to my test account as Lenny, acting on behalf of ACME Group. To get started, when you're in the holding account, select Transfer from the left-hand menu. Then I need to select the account I want to transfer to. I can start typing in the account number or the account name. Once you've selected it, hit Next, and then you can select your units. I want to transfer 250 ACCUs and 250 SMCs to that account. I can filter for specific units. $250 ACCUs, they show down the bottom. And then 250 SMCs. You can transfer multiple units in the same transaction. I've selected 250 of each. I go Next. Here I get to review what I've done. Ensure that the account that I'm sending them to is correct. The units I've selected are the ones I want to transfer. I can add a comment. I can go back and change the units or the account as well. Now, as I'm the only authorized representative on this account, I can select Approve Transfer. If there's more than one authorized representative on this account, I would have the option to initiate transfer, which would hold these units and send an email to all the authorized representatives letting them know a transfer needs approving. Now, there's no email PIN in the new registry. To finalize a transfer, you're prompted to enter a code from an Authenticator app. Let's go ahead and do that. If you haven't set one up, you can do it through this link. When you select the Setup link, you'll come to the Account Security page in Online Services. You can also get there from selecting Account Security in this drop-down. To set up your Authenticator app, download one on your phone, such as Microsoft or Google Authenticator. In the app, add a new service, then generate a QR code and scan it using the app. The app will give you a code to enter here, and then your Authenticator app will be linked to the Clean Energy Regulator. You can come back here anytime to unlink it. Once you've set up your Authenticator app, you can add the code it generates here to make your transfer. Just add the code, select Verify and Approve, and that finalizes the transfer. And as you can see, you'll get the transaction details page confirming everything. Here you'll have a transaction ID if you need to contact us, confirmation that it was a transfer to these two accounts, any comments that you've left, the specific units as part of that transfer, and the transaction history. In this case, Lenny was the only authorized representative, so initiated and approved it in one go. At this point, an email is sent to the authorized representative, in this case Lenny, letting them know the transaction has been completed. To check your transaction history, this can be done by heading to the transaction log on the left-hand menu. This is the place for tracking everything that's happened in your account: transfers, surrenders, voluntary cancellations, approvals, and more. Here you'll see the transactions have a different status: awaiting approval, completed, and any that are cancelled. You can scroll across to see more information, or filter and sort to find specific transactions. Let's find all the transactions with ACCUs only. And I may want to see ones that went to a specific account. Now I can look at the transaction details for that transaction. We can see that it's a completed transfer from this account to this account, and in it were ACCUs, two different blocks of ACCUs. The transaction history shows that Emma initiated the transaction and Lenny approved it, and there's dates and times as well. You'll often use the transaction log to find an initiated transaction, to review and approve it or cancel it. Let's review a awaiting approval transaction. This one for 200 units. It's a transfer. I can check the account details. It's got ACCUs and SMCs, and the transaction history shows that Emma initiated it. I'm logged in as Emma, and therefore I can't cancel this. I can cancel it, but I cannot approve it because there's another authorized representative on this account. Let's find one that I can approve. This top one here for 500 units. I can see it's a transfer. It had ACCUs and SMCs. It was initiated by Lenny, and I can approve it. I can similarly cancel it or leave it for someone else to approve. The other thing you can do in the transaction log is export all the transactions to a CSV file. Just select this button. If you want to include more details, such as the specific unit block information in the transaction, then check this box before downloading. You may want to voluntarily cancel ACCUs as part of your organization's net zero commitments. To do this, select Voluntary Cancellation from the left-hand menu. This will take you to a familiar step of selecting units. You can use filters or sort to select specific ones. I want to cancel 300 ACCUs from the ACME Carbon Capture project to offset emissions from ACME Group's corporate travel last financial year. I'll take 200 from here and 100 from this block. Total selected shows below. I go next, and then I'm up to the review screen. I can check that the units I've selected are the right ones, and I can add a comment. Now, any comment I add here will appear on the voluntary cancellation verification certificate. Once I'm happy with that, I can select Initiate Voluntary Cancellation, and all the authorised representatives on this account will get an email notification for someone to log in and approve it. If I'm the only authorised representative, then I'll be able to approve the transaction at this point. Okay, I'll go ahead and initiate it. Now I'll get a confirmation that this has been initiated. I can see it's a voluntary cancellation. It's pending that approval. I can see the units and the comment that I added. Of course, I can cancel this at any point before it's approved or leave it for an approver to approve. I'm going to show you how to complete a safeguard surrender transaction. Select Safeguard Surrender from the left-hand menu. And here you'll see a list of any surrenders you need to finalise, marked Awaiting Approval, or Need to Start, marked Pending, or any that are finalised, marked Complete. Each one shows the facility it relates to, the due date, and the quantity required to surrender. You can filter and sort these to find a specific surrender. I'm going to initiate one, so I view one that's pending. And I can see it tells me the facility this surrender relates to, and the year and other details, so I can be sure it's the right one. Now, if I have initiated permission, I can select Begin Surrender, which will take me to the familiar Select Unit step. All the available units are displayed. You can filter or sort to find the specific ones. You can select from ACCUs or SMCs, or a combination of both. The quantity required to surrender and what you have selected are displayed at the bottom here. So I'm going to go ahead and select units. I'm going to select some ACCUs and some SMCs. When I've selected the right amount, the next button is enabled. If I try and select too many, I'll get an error. When I'm ready, I select Next, and then I can review the selections. I can see the units selected to surrender, the quantity required. I can add a comment, and if I have initiator permission, I'll see an Initiate Surrender option. If I'm the only authorised representative on this holding account, then I would only see Approve Surrender here. Once I'm satisfied, I select Initiate Surrender, and then I'll get the confirmation in the transaction details page. This shows that I've initiated the surrender and that all authorised representatives on the account have been sent an email so they are aware, and whoever is an approver can log in and approve to finalise the surrender. Remember, there's no PIN or multi-factor authentication for surrender transactions. Now back to the list of surrenders. Now I'm going to approve one, so I'll select one that's awaiting approval. I can review it. Now, if I have approver permission, I'll be able to approve this surrender. I can update the comment if I want to, and then I select Approve Surrender when I'm satisfied of the details. And that gives me the confirmation transaction details page that the transaction's been approved. And again, all authorised representatives have been sent an email telling them that this surrender has been completed. You can now deliver ACCUs towards a carbon abatement contract milestone in the unit registry. If you have a carbon abatement contract linked to your holding account, then go to Delivery in the left-hand menu. This takes you to a list of all the milestones for each contract linked to this annual account. In my example, there are 2 contracts linked, and they're ordered by what's pending first. I can see each milestone's due date, how many ACCUs are required to meet this milestone, and how many remain to deliver if a partial delivery was done. Those that still need ACCUs delivered show as pending. If you miss a due date, they'll show as expired. If you've exited, they will be labelled as such, and these ones are complete. I can view more details of any milestone. I'll look at this one that has had some ACCUs delivered towards it. Viewing the details shows the related projects, when this milestone is due, how many ACCUs required, and how many remaining to deliver, and any transactions to date. I can see 1 delivery was cancelled, 4 are approved, and 1 is awaiting approval. I cannot begin another delivery against this milestone until the one awaiting approval is approved or cancelled. I can review this pending transaction's details. Check things such as the CAC number and milestone, the ACCUs selected, and who initiated it. When I'm ready to approve, I can edit the comment and select Approve Delivery. I then see a confirmation message and know that an email is sent to each authorised representative on this holding account saying the ACCU delivery has been approved. If we look at the transaction log and find the completed ones, we can see the transaction that Emma just approved. I can check the milestone details. And see the transaction history updated, as well as the quantity remaining. You need to be an authorised representative of a holding account to access it in the Unit and Certificate Registry. You're able to check the authorised representatives on your holding account and their permissions by selecting Authorised Representatives in the left-hand menu. This is where you can see a list of the people and their permissions, which can be Initiate Transaction or Approve Transaction, or both. You must have at least one of each permission on an account, and they can be held by the same person. In this example account, Emma has the Approver permission and Lenny the Initiate permission. Below, I can see a history of changes showing when permissions were added, removed, or updated. You can also download this history, which helps keep everything transparent and auditable. Thanks for joining us to learn about using the Unit and Certificate Registry. Hopefully now you feel ready to navigate the new system. If you need more help, head to cer.gov.au for guides, FAQs and support. And if you haven't already, make sure you're set up in the Unit Registry ahead of the full transition from ANRU during the 2025-26 financial year.